And for the region, Sub-Sahara, Southern Africa region, one thing that is very characteristic of that region is populist leaders. Look at South Africa. Look at Michael Sata, Zambia. You know, those type of populist leaders. I hope and pray that Zimbabwe doesn't go for a populist leader. What you need is quality leadership. The West Africans are providing good role models of quality leaders in recent times.
Correct.
You can see the type of leaders that they are selecting. They're not picking people who are just, you know, dancing in the streets or drinking, you know, the local brew.
You also saw, of course, how ECO was solved the political crisis in the Gambia.
Right. Now, for African Union, I wouldn't say I sympathize, I rather I empathize. I really understand where they're coming from. It's more of AU is a political organization, not an economic organization, but so there are politics involved there.
And it has no sovereign status.
That's the whole thing.
But it gets into the business of saying, if you seize power with a gun, we are not going to do business with you.
Right.
So why can't they also come up with a policy sincerely of saying, if you change a constitution under your watch,
yes,
we are not going to do business with you?
Yeah, ideally, you're absolutely right, Shaka. You've got a good point. Ideally, people would want to see that, but you have to understand also the political culture on the continent. We have young democracies, which are not more than 40 years old, 30, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we are going through, some Western countries have been through them.
Yes.
So we are learning.
No, I understand. But let's face it. I mean, there are a lot of other countries that seem to know what is happening because, after all, let's face it.
Yes.
The majority of problems probably point to the weakness of we as individuals, especially the educated elite. Because let's face it, the intellectual balance of power has been shifting in our favor.
And also the other thing is the institutions, the governance institutions that we have in place, the electoral commissions, and so forth. They are highly politicized and compromised. And therefore you find that some of these things like rigging elections are a cup of tea in a number of these countries.
But again, surely, let's face it, the international community should not do business with the people they know have stolen their people's vote. If you have a situation that is very clear, and there are so many really situations that are very clear, that the results of such an election is not a reflection of the will of those people, or the people who came to vote.
It's a very risky and dangerous path for the international community to tread if they were to go in that direction. The people who benefit from trade relations, aid, donor aid, are not necessarily the bureaucrats. They may get some money out, but the common people on the ground, health sector, education sector,
right,
the poor will suffer. It will be worse.
So